All right. Hello. I'm back again. I'm sorry for screaming into the mic. Hello. I'm back again. And today I am here to talk about Drake's three albums. And I'm here to talk about those three albums because I listened to all three and I've listened to them a couple times, some more than others, and I have thoughts. And no one deserves to hear me talk about three Drake albums. I barely deserve to hear them. So we shall get into this because I want to talk about just there's just so many interesting things about this album, and I want to, or all three of the albums, but I'm mainly going to be talking about Iceman here. I think that Habibti and Maid of Honor are garbage, and I think I'll briefly touch upon them. But like you might like some beats or some melodies or blah 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 blah. But I don't think you can argue with me that Drake is probably like the least contributor to what you like on either of those albums. Most people are like, "Ooh, I like these beats better." That's fine. But it's uninspired, and the actual structure of the album is terrible, and a lot of the songs are terrible. I honestly don't really see what people see in the other albums as much. But again, I'm mainly focusing on Iceman because I think it is the one that Drake put the most focus into. I think it is the one that gives the most insight into where he is right now, and I just think it's so interesting. And so I just want to talk about it. And so I was going to kind of J. Cole album it and just kind of give my brief thoughts, but I think I'm actually gonna go track by track because um it's just some of these tracks I will breeze through, skip over, but like he says so many things, and even the vapid tracks kind of contribute to the meaning that I get from these albums. And so, starting with the first song is called Make Them Try, and it is maybe the best song on the album. It is, I think, definitely the most, actually, no, the most vulnerable he gets. It kind of lies to you in making you think that he will actually look into the mirror. But in the way that he subverts those expectations, it's kind of fantastical. It's kind of like when you're watching a movie and you are in the mind of the villain, and then you see them almost get a redemption arc, and then they make that mistake or they make that bad decision again, and you're like, oh my god, like I should have known. Like, I fooled myself because like I just kind of fell in love with the character, but you're not gonna change, you know. But yes, let's continue. So the first one is called "Make Them Cry." It starts out with bars about his family, and I my new fascination with Drake music is his family bars because they're just fascinating, man. Like he starts out, he says, "I am an only child. No one could have made another. I have a mother. I have to father my mother and treat my son's grandfather like my older brother." Essentially saying that he has to father his mother and then treat his father like an older brother. Essentially saying that I have no guidance. Which, um, in one of the leaked tracks that was in the interim between the battle and now, the fighting Irish freestyle, he had a bar about saying like, I told my father that my that his daughter isn't my sister. Like he has such fraught family relationships, and like I don't know how you put it in a track like I father my mother, you know, like it unless it's a diss, you know, if it feels like a diss to both his parents, which is like okay, but like he be shouting them out, but it, like I don't know, you could tell. I like these bars because they are vulnerable and they are true. It's like the real Drake. It's like Aubrey here, and that's what art is about. Like it's about seeing the thing where you're like, holy shit, like you really came out and just said that shit. But it also kind of shows you how deep these wounds go, and like throughout this album he shows the character of Drake that he puts on that covers up all the pain that he reveals on this intro. And it's just so fascinating because I saw a clip of Sean C reacting to this album, and he was reacting to some song, and then he was like, "Ooh, random idea! I just like got an idea of Homelander while listening to Drake rap, and I can't put my finger on it." And it's funny because I've thought that about Drake, and I can exactly put my finger on it, and it's that hyper masculinity, that like boisterous, big character that is put on, that is right over like a deep well of insecurity and like holding it on by a thread. And like that embodies so many Drake tracks. And like this album, Iceman, in a way is him displaying that. Like, I don't know, like one of the things I think Drake's art does the best is, regardless of whether he intends it to or not, it ends up like portraying the reality of who he is. And this shows a man who has all these insecurities, but instead of looking into those dark corners, he rather put on this facade and make himself cold to it and become Iceman. And it's literally like watching him pull the mask up. It's fascinating. So he has those bars about his family. I have like a rough outline, but like he has so many bars. He says, I gotta dig deep. I really hate those words. That again is just so looking clear at yourself and saying, I'm scared of looking inside, and just saying that shit is like, hey, Drake, why won't you self-examine instead of just like dissing people and then suing people for dissing you? And he's like, I don't want to change. I'm scared of changing. If I start picking apart the person I am, I'm going to fall apart. And it is that type of blatant honesty is just wild to hear. Someone just be like, I'm a horrible person, but then watch him say, hey, and because I'm horrible, I'm gonna put on a mask, and then put on the mask for the album. It's just some wild shit. So anyway, yeah, he says, I don't do psychedelics because I'm scared of unpacking. What died back in 2024 was a big piece. Oh, I have to read that whole stanza because like this is him talking about 2024 and losing the battle. And like throughout this album, he'll have bars about how much the battle didn't affect him and how he's still on top and how he's ice cold and everything. And in this opening song, he says he died. He said, what died back in 2024 was a big piece. So it's like, this shit is me, but it isn't me. Y'all keep asking me what it did to me. That's what it did to me. I gotta dig deep. They say dig deeper. Tell us how it felt to meet the Grim Reaper. This album better have some big features. Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm all alone for my mental. And I've been trying to end so many people. I almost forgot the intro again. Then he starts like doing some more bars about like people that he can't trust and stuff. He says, I don't do psychedelics because I'm too scared of unpacking. Some bars about his therapist and stuff. But anyway, it goes on to just really show how self-aware he is, and how that self-awareness is him then choosing the wrong choice. It's not that he doesn't know that he's choosing the wrong choice. Is that he's like, fuck you, like, but then when he does it, it's just like, ugh, it's gross anyway, because he is still being a piece of shit. So anyway, by the end of the track, like it's the reason why I say if you feel him become Iceman is because as you get to the end of the track, it becomes less focused. It's more self-aware bars, but he's talking about transactional women relationships with women, that he's stuck in the cycle of, that he's been in the cycle of, that he quote unquote hates but loves, and how it, like, you could see him then becoming the person that is the distraction from all of the baggage that he unleashed in the beginning. And then he says, fucking, I'll battle the label and stuff. He has so many bars about his lawsuit, and I'm like, these are just not going to end well, and they don't hit well now. Um, but then after that, we get into the song Dust. And Dust is a basically a recreation of the song No Face. You can tell it's like his reattempt at that as a hit, and it is an improvement on it. Um, I don't like the intro of this. I usually just skip right to the second beat because I don't like his girls from Atlanta. It's just not it. Um, and so I usually say that, like, albums, like art in general, but like albums are genjutsus, if you know Naruto. But anyway, they are hallucinations. They are dimensions that you can pull someone into and make them believe your world for a minute. So I think that there's two ways. Like, if you love Drake and you don't really care about how hypocritical and weird and like unsettling his bars are, and you just fall into the fantasy with him, like if you forget the intro words and like you don't really care, you like lyrics that are clever but without context fall flat, then I think a lot of this album will be great for you. You know, I can see you loving the album if context doesn't really matter that much as far as listening to music. You're just kind of like looking for some stuff to play in the background or in the gym or something. It's like, okay, I can see how this album hits. But as far as substance, like, that is where a lot of this album loses its way. And so the beat on this is so good, or at least the second beat. But then the chorus says, "Go blow the dust off your plaques, go blow the dust off your plaques. What was the year they say you had slaps? Because I don't remember it going like that." The previous song, he was talking about how he died in 2024. A big part of him died. And now he's talking about go blow the dust off your tracks. I don't remember the slaps, as in I don't remember your hits. And I don't remember nothing about that. Nothing, one word of your raps. You're suing about his raps right now. These are all Kendrick disses, by the way. And it's just so weird because it's like, why would you bring attention to it by saying lies? You know, he says blow the dust off your plaques. There's no dust. He just got those awards. That's part of why you're mad. It's just so, like, why? Yeah, so, but it also features some of my favorite aspects of, I like, if Drake went back. The thing about old Drake is Drake also was very combative with a lot of rappers, but he was more about bigging himself up than talking about how bad the competition is. Even though he would talk slick about them, he wasn't so much as talking bad about them. And him saying saying lies about how bad his opponents are. Right here on the hook, he says, I am, and it feels so self-affirming. Like, Drake is really great at affirmation bars. I remember an old SNL joke said that he says every line like he's accepting an award, and if he just kept in like this lane, like one of the singles was what did I miss, and he has this ad lib where he goes, let's go, and he just has this way of saying things that sound like self-affirmations that hit. And he should really stay in that pocket instead of trying to just say random lies. Like, you could actually try to say something that's maybe true that you don't like about him, but this is just not true. Um, and then he has so many crypto bars and stuff, and like I don't know if you know, but Drake is really big and he's a big ambassador for Stake, which is an online gambling casino. Blah 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 blah, terrible shit. Um, and he keeps having these crypto bars that I'm just like, who relates to crypto bars but annoying people, you know, like, but like these are clever. But so he says an FTX pen, I am an FTX penthouse high riser, Samuel Bankman, free all my guys up, bro. Who is that bar for? And the way it's framed, are you saying free Sam Bankman Fried, the guy who scammed a bunch of people out of their money and Ponzi schemed? Like, why do you have all these scammer bars? You know, like, and anyway, and just bars, bars, bars. If it's up to me, threats, threats, threats. If you can turn your brain off, it's a vibe. And like, so he be flowing, and so I can listen to it. But that's where I know it's a bad album, because I can tell that this, after the melody hypnosis wears off the first couple of times I listen to it, I will get this out of my system quickly, because there's nothing to hold me here, because I'd be scratching my head every 2 seconds like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Um, a BTC. I am a BTC crypto big timer. I'm a corporate America hit survivor, brother. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay. Police will escort all that, blow up the dust of the tracks. Yes, just ridiculous. And this is the second track on the album, and then it starts. It feels like this is the part where like he falls into the monotony of Iceman. Like, even the emotion that he shows in the intro, like the realness there, as he starts to put these things to cover up, he starts to talk about his materialism and how he doesn't care and all this stuff. It's like he also kind of gets numb to his own art, and he kind of just starts to fall into routine, because the next song is where is it? It's like Whisper My Name. This song is so fucking uninteresting. I listened to the whole album again before I did this video, just because I was like, I just want to make sure I know it. I did it while walking my dog. It's fine. Don't worry about my health. I'm not listening to too much Drake. Um, but even as I was listening to it, my note here literally says we can skip because more interesting songs cover the same thing. He's just dissing people. It's like whatever. Like, all these dissing tracks are. I mean, this whole album is a diss album, which is the crazy thing, because like he is currently still appealing his lawsuit, which in this album on one of the tracks he says, my lawsuit is fried. So he knows that it's cooked, but you are suing over a track that dissed you. You claim that it was botted, that you had to retract that from the lawsuit. You said that it made you fear for your life and your safety. So while you're still like threatening these people's lives and stuff, and these disses, it's just ridiculous to hear, you know? Even if sometimes the bar form is good, it's just like, brother, like, anyway. So skip that. Then we get to Janice Shut the Fuck Up. This song is, I said the first song is maybe the best song in this album. This song is the biggest earworm for me on this album. I have listened to this song the most, and it actually, the beat is a big part. Beats on the production on this album is incredible. It carries a lot for Drake. But the beat of this was previewed in I think the third stream, Iceman stream. And it was in a song called That's Just How I Feel. And I was so enraptured with this beat that even the shitty bars from back there had me enraptured. So as soon as I heard it on this one, I was like, I already knew it. And the way he goes, that's just how I feel for real. Like I don't know. That melody catches me. And that's where he wins me most of the time on this album is he'll catch a melody that has me like, I need to hear that. The amount of times I've gone to a song, skipped past all this chaff just to hear this melody, and I'm just like, okay, cool. But anyway, I put in the notes here, I have to read the lyrics to this one because he's dissing in throughout this one, but the disses are way more focused and interesting and ridiculous. And so the other thing is, because he's dissing so much in this song, it being called Janice Shut the Fuck Up, I know that that is the sample that's playing throughout, or the DJ's voice or whatever, but there's definitely someone named Janice, and he's definitely talking some shit, because that's just what Drake does. Reach me, baby, call me on phone, need me, baby. Whoever this woman he's talking to on the hook, he's being messy, and it's most likely connected to Drake. I mean Kendrick, because of this being so Kendrick diss forward of a song. But it is a vibe. Okay, so his first verse starts, buried alive, someone come dig me up. He is referring to the Buried Alive track, that a Buried Alive interlude that Kendrick had on his Take Care album, in which the metaphor, and you should go listen to it, is, I love that song, but it being buried alive is being covering yourself up in riches and money, it's inundating yourself with pleasures in order to cover yourself until you basically kill yourself. And in the battle between him and Kendrick was attacking his materialism, his drug addictions, and all that. And so this is a reference to that. But during that battle, most people don't know this, but Drake did a cover of Buried Alive where he was dissing back to Kendrick. And so this is a double reference. But he says, buried alive, someone come dig me up. He is saying that he has covered himself in his riches, in his drugs, in his women, and he is killing himself. Like, it's weird how bare he is in random moments. And if you don't know what you're hearing, it just sounds like a random bar. But, like, he's self-aware of what he's doing. It's weird. If I call up your shorty right now, she's picking up. You boys got big off my name. That's big enough. We already know how you OGs rocking. The jig is up. That's a Jay-Z diss. They say the truth will set you free, while mine is gonna stream in HD. They say karma could take an eternity. Yours dropping the same night as me. These are good bars. Funny thing is, they ain't gonna compete. You gonna get me yours while I'm doing me, but whatever. The hook again. This is where he really starts going at Kendrick. Tired of all of y'all telling me niggas is real. Pussy, I know when it's real. You only come home to pose and pop off a look, but forget how it feels. Shot down, popping a pill, whatever. That's something to someone, maybe, I don't know. This is where white kids listen to you because they feel some guilt, and that's how your soul gets fulfilled. Now, he keeps harping on Kendrick's appeal to white people, and it's so ridiculous because I'm not white, and Kendrick's love it comes from the black community. Like, so many white people love him, sure, but the way Kendrick's music isn't good because people have white guilt. A lot of Kendrick music, if you don't have the right lens into it, you won't even pick up what he's talking about, you know? And like Good Kid, Mad City, it has a lot of vulnerable tracks, but white people's guilt isn't what gets them to listen to like Mad City, the song. that shit is just a banger. Backseat freestyle, Money Trees. No one's feeling white guilt while they listen to that. DNA on Damn, N95 from Mr. Morale, any of GNX. No one's bumping that from White Guilt, and no one's bumping Night Like Us from White Guilt. Like it's just such a it's so anyway. That's how he opens up. That's how your soul gets fulfilled. Handing out turkeys on camera inside of your hood, then go back to the hills. How many houses you build? How many souls did you heal off the back of your deal? He's saying that's to Kendrick. Like, bro, what standing do you have? Difference between niggas getting you out of deal and letting you out of your deal. How are you talking about Kendrick's deal when you are literally singing I need my label to free me on this album? Like, it's so ridiculous. Dissing your label multiple times on this album, releasing 3 shitty products, or 2.5 shitty products and kind of a good like half a good product, and having your audience positive argument for you being he was just trying to get out of the deal. Like, okay, so anyway, how many more interviews, whatever, Rari goes skirt. Okay, kept it 100 on paper like Will. Some good parts, but it's like, okay, cool. And then it just devolves into some catchy melodies. Next comes Ran to Atlanta. If you don't know what it's about, like him, it's another response to Not Like Us, to Kendrick talking about how he went to Atlanta and bit off their sound in order to get big and get into clubs and get cultural cachet. And it's just like, I mean, doing this doesn't prove that you didn't do that. And so this is just like another club banger. It's weird because Future put out 2 albums dissing your ass and platformed people to diss you and orchestrated the beginnings of Not Like Us, this song that you're crying about all throughout this album. But if you guys want to link up and make a song, like, that is Saucy Santana. She had a good flow or whatever her song. It's not Saucy Santana. This is a completely different person. Molly Santana had a good flow, but I mean, she didn't wow me. She was cool. So I'm gonna be going. So this is where you really get into the routine of Drake, because besides Janice Shut the Fuck Up, which is catchy, but a lot of the bars are like whatever. You go from Dust, which good beat, but whatever. Whisper My Name, which is not interesting to me. Ran to Atlanta, which is just like some background club music, I guess. You get to Shebang, which, I mean, I've seen some people say they like this song. I feel like it'll quickly grow old on you. And it's so fucking long and repetitive. I don't know how people think that this is going to be a song that they run back. As someone who has heard it multiple times. And then we get into Make Them Pay. So I think Make Them Pay is when your brain can kind of turn back on. And so this is another timestamp record where he is putting on a soul sample and getting like actually saying well constructed bars instead of just catchy shit, right? And I think he put way too many of these on this album, especially when a lot of them are containing bars where he's just blatantly lying, or, well, but yeah, just like if these bars are supposed to be you spitting real shit, then if you're just going to be lying about a bunch of shit, crying about a bunch of shit, why would I play this back? I'll just listen to the first time you made this track, because you made these all the same. So the thing about Drake timestamp records is, like, these are the ones where he's really rapping, but at some point he only does it on soul samples and stuff. Like, if you listen to older Drake timestamp records, he has different flows. He sounds way more enthusiastic and stuff. I think 6 p.m. in New York or whatever, or 4 p.m. in Calabasas. Like, he sounds so, oh please take it easy. Where's the love and the peace? Like, he sounds so energetic, and these he's always like laid back, just sad and like looking back on shit, and it's like you're ruining the magic by having so much of these. And if you cut out so many of these and you just kept like the intro and the second to outro, like it would come off way better, even though a lot of the bars are still ridiculous. um yeah, make them pay. He has Jay-Z disses, J. Cole. You know what, I'll read these because you have to hear the delusion in it in order to see why. Like, oh, and this is one where he's like, I just want to be free. Great sample, but it's not great bars. Okay, so let's see. Don't be surprised, you'll see the whole YMCA, like the Village People, talking about how he'll be in LA. Just more Kendrick shit. Crip talk because of Kendrick shit. um Okay, your niggas run to and talk to Hove for a second opinion. Hove diss. I don't really care personally. Um, Me, I stood 10 toes and accepted the mission because I'd much rather death than submission. How can you press the ignition and let some memories of the past affect your decision? He's dissing Cole throughout this, and fair. Um, Fuck a big three anyway. There were too many chefs in the kitchen. It was a mess to begin with. And now they got a new goat and we gotta test the position. Damn, who is this guy? For real, I guess a magician. 100 million streams vanished. No one got question for niggas. Drake being one of the biggest faces of botting, and like he's currently in a lawsuit about it with Spot. Like he's being sued by RBX, who is Snoop's cousin, and a bunch of other people. It's a class action. Um, but even this album had the biggest streaming drop off from day one to day two in Spotify's history. So it's like it's just such glass house shit, and there's never been any revelation of botting significantly. I mean, I'm sure there's some that goes in throughout the industry, but this is just so vapid. Um, and the assumption that he lost the battle because of streams. You didn't lose the battle over streams. He has numerous replies to Kendrick on this album, and none of them suffice because he's still talking about nothing. Yeah, like I didn't even take that many notes here because he's saying bars, quote unquote, but they're just meandering because they don't actually make sense in real life, and so they end up just becoming nothing bars. I say in my notes here that people claim they like this song, but I don't know how it can age well. We'll see. Next one is Burning Bridges. It's actually a very catchy beginning of the song, but then it devolves into this monotonous diss against ASAP Rocky, and it's just like, bro, like stop. Why are you still dissing ASAP Rocky over Rihanna, bro? And he actually has a bar where he's, hold on, I have to find it. He says, you should be swimming with the fucking fishes, but I still got love for your missus and her sister. Bro, who the fuck cares who you got love for? Rihanna don't fuck with you, bro. It's too late. It's too late, bro. Like, what are we doing filling up space on this album, switching from the first good beat to this vapid, like, drugged out second beat? And it just keeps on going and going. It just adds to the blow to this album. And that's really all I have to say about that. Next is National Treasure. Again, like once we get into Iceman, the album just becomes so sloggy because there's nothing real to grab onto. It's kind of like being on ice. It is solid, but you slip. You can't grab onto it. It's a false friction, you know. Um, National Treasure. He disses LeBron. He disses DeMar DeRozan. I don't really care, brother. I really don't. Next is Bees on the Table. A lot of people hate this song. I actually am not bothered by it. Yes, 21 doesn't have a verse. Yes, it was probably just so people know that Drake is still cool with 21. And it is a very repetitive verse, but the song is very brief. And Drake's energy on this song is actually really good. He's just talking about more bullshit, and he's like, the whole song is about how he has billions on the table. And it's like, no, you don't, brother. Like, you wouldn't be suing and angry over all this if that's what the case was. And he says at the end here, he says, I'm suing the man, not a rapper. Y'all boys is not listening. No, you're suing because the song hurt your feelings. Maybe you do have some issues with your label. That's clear. But that is not why this is happening. He also then has the beat switch, and the chorus. He says, "Check signing is my king, pushing out ink. I feel like a squid." And okay, it's a bar, but yuck. Like, if you have a bar like that, put it in the verse so you don't repeat that and it's not singled out and people, like, that's the part I see in the club. Check signing is my kink. I'm pushing out ink. I feel like a squid. Like, bro, okay. But yes, that's National Treasure. I personally don't like it. I know it's like one of the big songs that everyone likes. I think it will quickly grow old as you listen to it. What did I miss? More Delusion. It was a single he released a long time ago. It is what it is. Then he has Plot Twist, which is an annoying ass song, bro. It's, I don't know, like, I've seen people say they like it. It's so monotonous and circular, and he spells October Gang, and it's so long. Like, it's too much spelling, bro. Way too much spelling. And it's a song about him throwing up hand signs, and it's like, bro, who the fuck wants to hear this, bro? You know? And so then we get into I have it on my personal notes here as Mob Ties 2, but it is Too Hard for the Radio. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Plot Twist. Yes. Plot Twist is basically Mob Ties from Scorpion. Him talking about how he'll kill people, which he's done throughout the album. And if you will, then you're still a bitch, because you cry victim so much to be ordering hits and all this shit. Like, give me a break, bro. But then we get into Too Hard for the Radio, which is horrible. It is, the beat is great. Again, production carries on this album. But Drake does not sound right on it. Like, you could tell he's trying to do like West Coast ad-libs and affectations, but it just doesn't come natural to him. And because it is a West Coast diss, it just comes off more awkward. And then the second beat switch, where it turns into nearly an identical Squabble Up clone, and you are doing a worse job because you're not from the West Coast. And you're dissing badly Kendrick and Mustard in it. Like, I will read these lyrics because it's more of that you have to stop listening to the words if you want to have any fun on this album. He starts up kind of mocking the old style of rap from the West Coast, very storyteller. Hey, this is my name, this is my game type shit. But then we get into the second verse where he starts dissing for real. He says, "Hey, first off, I make real town smacks." Bro, we already, your whole lawsuit is about how your label damaged you by inflating this song. Your whole lawsuit is about how this song is a smack. How it smacked you in the face. It has 5 Grammys, bro. No one's believing that, hey, I make real-time smacks. Like, okay, so I make real-town smacks. Boy, you know the motto. Gotta push it to the max. Back when they was asking about where Davison was at, now everybody got a blue 30 on the back. Mustard heard about us, gotta catch up to the slaps. You ain't had one since me and YG rapped. His last two slaps slapped you. TV Off is another Mustard banger. And Not Like Us, you are so hurt about your suing. How can you say this? It's insane that like the OVO camp is like, hey bro, like who is this bar for? Especially when you say I died in 2024 on the intro. How are you then supposed to come back and say you make real time slaps that Mustard hasn't had a hit since what, 2012? Are you kidding me? Okay. Rack City bitch, whatever. Telling her back bend. He has a Clips diss. And then he says a bar here. He says, yeah, I'm fucking power couples up. Yeah, acting like you love marrying your wife. Back to the family bars, like his unabashed hatred for people that seem to love each other is just like, who are you getting on your side with a bar like this? You know, like just hating. Like this is like the haterist of hater shit. And I get it, you hate him, but it's not a hate in a way where I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get behind that. Like, ugh. It's like, okay. And so yeah, that's too hard for the radio. I can't really do it. And then we get into Make Them Remember, which is like the third timestamp record. And this one I would say is the most unnecessary. This one, I believe, this one was leaked. Triggs leaks a lot of stuff. That's why I keep doing quotation marks. And so this one was put out by his camp. Most likely, I don't care. I fully believe he released this himself. But it was released early. And after you hear the rest of this album, his other timestamp records are way more important than this one. This one is just more full of delusion, more full of lies, more just talk about random shit. Like, let me see here. Okay, so he did say he does have a couple bars where he still peers into the real Aubrey. He says, they say conclusions were drawn, but I'm in super denial. So like, starting it out with honesty, following all the way through with your album up to this point with denial, and then you peer in and you're like, I'm in super denial. No, you're right. I'm not acknowledging that I got my ass beat. I told you I got my ass beat. Now I'm in super denial, and I'm not going to acknowledge that. I was like, Drake is the most honest liar. Shout out to that coach that, not actually shout out, but you know, the coach that was scamming college football. He is such an honest liar. He's actually asked the question, what is a loss? What is a loss? I have to read this. Here we go. Okay. I actually have to read a lot of these bars. These bars are actually fascinating. So listen. He says, it feels like I gotta lie to even tie. So I don't know if these wins. Oh, wait. So, okay. He says, it feels like I gotta lie to even tie. So I don't even know if these are wins or not based on what's suitable now. Meaning, he's admitting that he is constantly lying, and he feels that he has to keep lying in order to even tie up. You know, like, who says this? This is like when the villain monologues to the hero his master plan. Like, he's just saying it. Like, what? But then he does one of the things I hate the most on many of these timestamps. He goes, y'all don't even hear me though. Like, that bar was cool. It's not that amazing, bro. Like, you have better bars throughout this. Stop hyping up these random okay bars you do. Okay, stop putting emphasis. It makes it lame. You're ruining it. I'm in super denial. What is a loss? I'll be damned if I'm losing it now. I'm the golden goose shaking things up in Lucian's house. I'm in the battlefield really putting boots to the ground. He's talking about how he is currently suing UMG, and he's saying that he is causing a lot of ruckus and Lucian Grange is the owner of UMG, and how he's causing all this ruckus by suing them. And that's not what it seems. You're singing "Free Me" again on this, my guy. Like, nothing about these past 2 years have said I'm in control. You're saying I need control. I'm suing for control. So take what you will from those bars. But the super denial coming before it is like, okay, he's in super denial. So he's bigging himself up now. He has a Dr. Dre diss. If you want to diss Dr. Dre, okay, like, okay, whatever. But these bars sound good, I should say. Convenient amnesia, never got a copy of the newest rules, foolish fools, who's grooming who bar. I don't really care to highlight on it because it's not necessary. It's just a bad bar. But yes, bad bar. Oh my god, the fucking fair skin. Is it the fair skin or the Jewish roots? Why people want to not see Nazi me on top of the mountain like I do. This is more of the victimization bars, but deeper than that, one, is it the fair skin? Like, brother, who says that? Is it the fair skin or the Jewish roots? You are not hated upon because you're Jewish, bro. You're hated upon because you're a dick. And the fact that you keep trying to point to you being Jewish is more of the victimization. And as I'll later mention in a later track, he has a DJ Khaled diss, which is fine. He says he has a diss where he's talking about Palestine, and it's like it's a decent diss against Khaled, I guess, because Khaled hasn't said anything and he is Palestinian. But coming from Drake, who is Jewish and hasn't said anything about the genocide besides weaponizing it against Khaled, it comes off as colonizer settler bars. Like, it's just like, why? Anyway, yes, Jewish, whatever. It structurally is a okay bar. It's a bad bar. Talking about how they try to have me stuck in this position like rigor mortis. Rigor mortis is the Kendrick song. Turn my back on you just to give you the biggest target. They only know your name in the bigger markets, never in the little markets, B markets, C markets. All of those are D markets. What diss is there in saying that they only know Kendrick in big markets? And they know Kendrick in small markets. But okay, keep going off. Like, again, this is your genjutsu, so you can put whatever hallucinations you want up. But I listen to enough music and I know enough to not fall for this genjutsu. I know my way out. So this should just be ridiculous. You guys belong in the pack like rats, like Dean Martin, Green Martian. These are good bars. It's just whatever. They're just not real bars. LeBron diss, J. Cole diss, which these are good disses. But it is what it is. Insecurities. He says plot twist. The owl never sees the cage, because in the Not Like Us video, it's so bad because so many of these bars he's direct. He put like 5 responses to Not Like Us on this album. That's not good, bro. And they don't crush Not Like Us at all. None of them. But he says, plot twist, the owl never sees the cage. Ooh. The owl only wakes up to seize the day. And as someone else pointed out, I don't remember, but owls don't seize the day. Like, and when you hear the bar, it comes off weird if you like owls, and I love owls. And I was like, seize the day? Like, what kind of owl seizes the day? They're nocturnal animals. But anyway, talking about hiding the Bible, maybe you should read a page. Bro, stop putting some of Kendrick's best bars from Not Like Us in your music. That makes me want to go listen. Beat your ass and hide the Bible while God watching was, if God watching, it was one of my top 3 favorite vocal stems of that time when that track first came out. Do not put it in your song here. That is worse. You know, like, come on now. Um, uh, oh my god! And then he says the iced out crosses, thinking that Jesus says blasphemy when you talk to me, blah 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 blah. You niggas should be ashamed the fact that you had to bring those talks to get some decent plays. First of all, stop. You just said that they only know Kendrick and Big Market. So what are you talking about? You needed to do that to get some decent plays. But again, goodness gracious. Again, he didn't have to call you names or call you uh uh a diddler, you know, like, you know, you didn't have to speak on your name in that sense in order to beat you in the battle. But as has been pointed out even by the judge that threw out your case, you are the one that first mentioned it in the battle. You encouraged him to. The judge actually said that you consented to it, and in your lawyer's reply to that, your lawyer said Drake didn't even say it in his voice. You guys try to blame it on the dead voice of Tupac. Like, come on, bro. And so now you're gonna say you just had you that's what you had to resort to get some decent plays. No, bro. I beat your ass 12 ways to Sunday. And you mentioned the wife first. And you started bringing all the... Anyway, capping up her case. These are, again, decent structured bars, but ridiculous. And he says, I'm down to put bills on their face. No wonder they've been ducking trays, Drake. And then he repeats the bar, and he's like... And like he's gassing himself out. I'm like, bro, that's not even your best bar in this song. Stop bigging up the shit. That's not good. I mean, it's good, it's okay, but like you're ruining it. Okay. Joe Budden diss, that was a good structured diss, but I mean, I really don't care about it. And then Muggsy Bo, more Kendrick diss. So again, very, very unessential track. And then we get into Little Birdie. This song is garbage. And this song is garbage not because it sounds bad, because I think it actually sounds good. I know a lot of people don't like this song, but it doesn't sound like a Drake song. As soon as I heard this, my first thought was Kodak sold this song to Drake. But I saw a different Florida rapper called 1800 Rugrat, or maybe 1900 Rugrat, white dude, who has been coming up in the rap scene. I think he was in last year's XL Freshman. He came out saying that he sent a track to Drake, and that is eventually what became this song, Little Birdie. And so I believe him, because as soon as you hear this, you're like, oh, this is Florida. Like this is straight up a Florida track, and 1800 Rugrat is a Florida rapper. I just assumed it was Kodak because I don't really listen to 1800, and I'm more familiar with Kodak's voice and his cadence and his music, and I'm sure he influenced a lot of Florida rappers. But this shit is just so clearly not Drake that it's like, ugh, why would I listen to this? I'm gonna just go listen to Kodak. Let's see if I noted anything important on this track besides the fact that it's stolen shit. Yeah, this is more album bloat, honestly. Like if you want to, it's more background music. And the fact that you released 3 albums, God, you didn't need any filler on this album. You could have made Iceman 12 tracks, maybe even less, and it would have been way better. And you wouldn't have been like stealing these sounds that just aren't you and ruining it. Like, anyway, next song is Don't Worry. And this is really the stretch where this album loses its way. I don't think I have any notes on Don't Worry. It is such a nothing burger of a song, such a Drake song that he has made 3 million times in his career. It's Marvin's Room without the bite. It's just so bad. Let's see, worst version of other Drake songs, album bloat, no lyrics, AI ass track is literally my notes here. I did say hater bars at the end. Let's see what's at the end here. Oh my god, bro. So listen, Marvin's Room is hater shit, but this shit is just, It's hater beyond hate. He says, I just want to see a boy beg on the pavement if he tripping with gang. Then I just want to see a boy struggle with the pavements if he tripping on the gang. I just might get that boy hit for entertainment again, whatever. If he's tripping on the gang, then I just want to see a boy working on the day shift and the night shift. I just want to see that boy struggle with the phone bill and the light bill. Bro, it's hilarious to listen to, but you're never gonna play this back. It's so slow, it's so meandering, it's a nothing track, like I said. But it's the little entertainment I did get from the track was listening. I was like, holy shit, brother. Because he has such vitriol in his voice when he says it. And then we get into Firm Friends. This song does have more decent bars, and he's dissing all throughout, but he's dissing. I'm sure a lot of people specifically that recognize, I just don't. But he's just kind of dissing all the people that turned their back on him, which a lot of people had their reasons, but like, I'm not in the middle of celebrity drama. I wouldn't be surprised if like he has reasons to be mad at them. It is what it is. You know, it's his right to be mad at them if he wants to be. He wasn't in rap battles with a lot of these people. He just feels like they turned their back on him. So it is what it is. Like, you can do that. But this is yet another timestamp. And so it's like you are again stealing from your own magic by bloating this. You're showing your one trick poniness by like you didn't even differentiate the timestamp records the way you have throughout your career, and you've spaced out the timestamps so they actually like announced something, got people excited. Now these feel like you're just going through routine and routine and routine. And so like and it's better because he's victim rapping, but it sounds a lot more like he isn't interested in playing the victim. He's just interested in getting revenge. And that's just a way, like the unabashed villain is way more entertaining than the woe is me villain. It just is. Like, I'm not into that, bro. So it comes off better. And Confident Drake is the best. Well, no, it's not. That's a lie that's perpetuated by the music industry. Confident Drake is great. Old Confident Drake was really good because he bigged himself up. Now Confident Drake shits on other people more than he bigs himself up. And when he bigs himself up, it's false bloat and lies instead of actually trying to build himself up. Anyway, digressing again. So, but he does have one bar on it that says, I've been on the longest run, I don't know how to walk away. And on More Life, the last song, Do Not Disturb, which was the timestamp record from that album, which was my favorite song when I was in. I used to listen to that all the time. I love that song. I could rap a lot of it if I played it right now. He says, I probably self-destruct if I ever lose, but I never do. Which, watching Drake self-destruct throughout, like, after this battle, I was like, wow, like, again, the good thing about artistic Drake, like, even if he is getting the bars from other people at times and stuff, and what it will reflect is who he truly is in that moment. And how he says he'll self-destruct if he ever loses, but he never does. And then in this one, he says, what is a loss? You know, after saying, I'm in super denial. You know, it just shows how he's going through that psychosis. And so he says, I've been on the longest run. I don't know how to walk away. Fair enough, Drake. Honest bars, that's a bar. And it's vulnerable in a way that, you know, people can connect to. And then he Make Them Know, I think, is the next track. Oh, Make Them Know is the last track. And one of the things that I think is good about this album is the first and the last, like, sonically, I think that this song is very low energy in a way that makes it meandering and makes it unappealing to return to. But as far as the meaning that it contributes to this album, it feels so poignant and significant and like true to what this album was, because he opens it up as Aubrey. He opens opens it up showing you how devastating these past few years have been for him. He goes throughout the rest of the album covering it up, saying I'm in super denial. I won't acknowledge this loss. If I do, I'll fall apart. I'm Homelander. If I'm not the hero, I don't know what I am. I'm scared of looking into that dark hole. I can't do psychedelics. I'm scared of what I'll see about myself. And then in this last one, it's so reserved. It's so morose. And he says, I try. It opens up saying, I tried and tried and tried to the R switch place with the I, saying, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. But if you really just switch it, it says, I tied, I tied, I tied. Well, I tied and tied and tied. And that's some black shit. Like, bro, I love that as an opening line. I'll never forget that July, that the worst that I felt in a while. So it's like after him covering up all of the pain throughout the album, it's like this album is him coming off the high again. And he's saying how tired he is, how hurt he is. I'll take it an eye for an eye. I'll send a boy up to the sky. I still haven't lost any sleep, and I definitely didn't cry. If you break up definitely into 4 syllables and say you didn't cry, nothing sounds more like a lie. Like, it sounds like a bad bar, but if you look at it as an introspective bar, like if he structured that purposely to show what a facade it was, it's the perfectly constructed bar. Because I tied and tied and tied, and I haven't lost sleep. I tied. How could I have not lost sleep and still be tired? No, I did lose sleep, and I've cried so much, and so like that vulnerability, like that is the best part of Drake. He talks about almost killing people. It is whatever. I'm sleeping with death on my mind because shots that I called in my time. And Karma has been on my side, but I also just heard that she's blind. That bitch might switch on a dime because she can't even see. Can't even see it. I'm a god. I don't think that's what he actually said. Pressure been getting applied. I know I've been bad with replies. The lawsuit I got is fried till the R switch placed with the I, basically saying it's fired, which I can't imagine that meaning a good thing. It feels like he's saying it's shot, meaning it's over with, which he's still appealing it. So like he's tired, he's exhausted, but he's just stuck in his ways. He didn't change. It's almost like he's sick of how much he can't change on this album. And that's relatable, One of my favorite albums that did come out, and it came out like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, was Isaiah Rashad's It's Been Awful. And the transparency of how frustrated he is with being stuck in cycles that he has kept trying to escape, and he isn't giving up. But he knows that, like, after going through, after backsliding so many times, like, almost pushing forward as routine, and being sick of yourself doing wrong. And this is what it comes through. It's like, my lawsuit is fried. I'm still doing it, though. They'll frame it as people retired, but we'll know what's a truth and a lie. Whatever. They'll act like I lost my appeal, but they'll pay me for changing their mind. You lost your appeal, Drake. Like, there's no way to flip it, because even if they paid you money, but the appeal lost, then you lost. Like, you didn't sue them for money. Like, if you are rich, like, you're not suing for money. You're suing because you were wrong. So if you lose the appeal, then you lost the appeal. Who cares if they paid you? They're your label. Anyway, he has various indigenous bars, and they're not technically offensive, but it's back to the Palestinian bars. It's back to and like all the MAGA universe. When Iceman dropped, the White House dropped the same album cover with a MAGA chain. He is aligned with Morgan Wallen, Aiden Ross, academics, um, XQC. Like, he's very MAGA universe. So like these bars don't help at all. The fact that so many plights of resistance only come up in his music as tools to take shots at other people or as just clever wordplay. It's just like, okay, like this thing is just a frivolous thing for you to throw out for a bar, but it doesn't really mean much to you. And then he has a bunch of just more threat bars and stuff, which it's weird because like it's like you're teetering between being real and being unreal. Actually, that's really good because like the first song, he's vulnerable. He's covering up with Iceman for the rest of the album, and then the last song is like him fighting the two natures, going back and forth between being real and vulnerable, and painting the lie in the character that covers that up. So he talks about your bullshit, but then he ends it saying, "What happened to Drake from 2009 when all of those moments was intimate? What happened to Drake with the innocence? I don't think we'll be seeing him again." And that's his final words on this album. And um grow up, Drake. Like, we won't see him again, but there could be a person after this. You just gotta look inside, which I know you won't, because that's what Iceman means. Iceman says, I refuse to have accountability, even though I watch myself become the monster. And, in one way, like in a meta way, that's good because it's the truest album to who Drake could be, who Drake is right now. And in another way, it's a piece of shit. So it's just like, ugh. So it's a bad album. It is a bad album. It has a lot of filler, lots of songs that won't age well, great production, but like content wise, it's terrible. Even the songs that are supposed to have content, after you digest them a couple times, you're like, I can't keep listening to him spit bullshit, especially when he has better songs in the past. And then to briefly speak on Habibti, I really won't talk about Habibti. I hate it. It's my Drake is not a great singer, and he does not compensate better for it with melodies on this one. The best part of Drake singing throughout his career has been what he was saying, was the vulnerability. And people would be like, holy shit, he said that shit. Most of the Habibti album, I think at some point Drake thought that people just thought people just liked hearing him talk about women. I don't. Maybe other people do. I don't. This shit is boring, it's vapid, it's ridiculous, and it's way too goddamn long. Habibti is ass. One of my best friends love it. It's okay for you to love it. I am confident in my heart it will age like garbage water. But it is what it is. Maid of Honor, I have to mention how fucking weird it is. Back to the family bars, that he has his mother front and center. It has him, his father, and him as a kid on the cover, but his mom is front and center. And it is a song, it's an album all about being drugged out, being hoed out, girls or women not like falling into the materialistic world, being preyed upon by the nightlife, going into their hoe phase. And it's like, why would you put not only your family but your mother front and center for an album like this? Like, it's so many things feel like disses to his family that it's just like, ugh. Back to the my mother's my child and my dad is my older brother. Like, I think there is definitely a broken relationship there to do something like that, or at least that's how your album and your art is coming off to me, Drake. And it also has so many ridiculous garbage songs on it. I've heard people say that they like this album. Again, I feel like give it some time and you'll slowly realize how bad it is. Not only that, you'll realize that your favorite parts of this album have nothing to do with Drake. Shout out to, I think her name is Iconic Stracy or something. She's on one of the songs, and her part, I'm so fucking mad that Drake got her on this song because it put so many other people on this song and it's a banger, but Drake ruins the song. It's so bad. And yeah, those are my ideas about these three albums. I genuinely think that he released three, like maybe he is smelling his own farts and thinks that the other two are maybe better than they are, but these aren't good albums. Iceman is worse for the content. So I think he actually tried with Iceman. It's just all he could give. Even with the shady business dealings, the dissing, the stealing flows, and all that, it is his biggest, most foot forward effort, I believe. I do think the other two albums were just throw-ins that he put for completing his deal. Um, and that's those are my wrapped up ideas. I want you guys to know that whatever I shorten this to, which I'm horrible at shortening my rants, so it probably won't be that much shorter. I am currently at an hour and 15, so this is why I could not um, refrain from doing this video, because someone would have had to hear this if it was not you guys. And so keep an eye out. I going to be releasing the next bittersweet essay pretty soon, and so look out for that. And besides that, it is good to peer in briefly, but I do enjoy being offline, so sorry, I can't promise how soon I'll be back, but I will be back. I should be back. Peace.